One day the dreamer will finally wake up. I think a lot of people are tired. I think a lot of people want to wake up. Ever wondered why you dream? Some people tell themselves that dreams are just random firings in their brains. But if dreams were just random firings in their brains, why do they actually make sense? Like, a lot of dreams actually make sense. It's not like dreams do not make sense. It's not like things just be happening and there's no background story. Your friend will appear, disappear. There's a dog, that dog disappear. Now you are in America. Now you are in England. Now you are drowning. Like, no, there is a story that actually makes sense. That's why you believe when you're dreaming that you're not dreaming, right? Yes, dreams may not be as consistent. I mean, some dreams are actually consistent, but some dreams may not be as consistent as what we call the waking life. And another question that you must ask yourself is, why does random firings in your brain cause you to dream? When I make videos, I like to give people what I call observational truth more than the highest truth. I'll explain to you what I mean by observational truth. Oh, there are kids there who are playing. It's an observational truth. It's true, there are kids there that are playing. It's cold today. That's an observational truth. I'm wearing a blue jacket. That's an observational truth. You are watching me on your phone or on your laptop. That's an observational truth. You are sitting on a couch. Observational truth. You are driving. Observational truth. And because of that, some people think that I contradict myself. I'll tell you that a lot of people are not as smart as you think they are. And someone would say, but you say there are no other people. You say that the final truth is that there's only one mind. So how can you say that other people are stupid? But like, that's an observational truth. It's like if you're watching a movie. If you watch the movie Shutter Island, the main character, like some people believe that the main character didn't go to that mental hospital as a patient. Actually, he was not a patient. The background story that he believed is actually true, but they were trying to turn him into a patient. And the theory can make sense, right? It's an observational, like, a person can explain things in a way that actually makes sense. It's not, we know that it's a movie. The highest truth is that is a movie. So people just come up with their own interpretation of what they are saying. If you watch any movie, someone is angry. Someone has unalived someone in the movie. That's an observational truth. That is true. If you watch, let me give you a simple example. You watch the book of Clarence. Yeah, Clarence was crucified. That's an observational truth. But was he actually crucified? No, he wasn't crucified. It's just a movie. They were acting. So the highest truth is that they were acting. So if I say that Clarence in the movie The Book of Clarence was crucified, I'm not lying. I'm giving you observational truth, right? The highest truth is that it's only a movie. Most of the time when I make videos, I'm giving you observational truth. Why? Because observational truth make you sane. It's like you're training your mind to be able to appreciate truth. If you watch the movie The Book of Clarence and you end up believing that Clarence wasn't crucified in the movie The Book of Clarence, I'm not really sure if you will actually be able to see the highest truth, because you don't even pay enough attention to understand observational truth. Like, you tell yourself lies, so that means that you will be telling yourself lies, so you won't be able to see the highest truth. What's going to set us free is our ability to embrace the highest truth. Pay attention to the observational truth, but let that teach you to think rationally. When they give you a book and say, yeah, this book was written 5,000 years ago, it's about where we come from, you read that book and they wrote about heaven while they were on earth. They say that they were able to speak to God, and God was able to tell them some things, and God wants you to follow him. You know, like if you care about observational truth, you'll see that that's just nonsense. You know, be like, it's not even something that's worth debating. Just because something is ancient doesn't make it true. You know, we as humans, we respect people who are older than us because we believe that they have wisdom, like they carry wisdom, you know. So when we find ancient texts, we'll be like, yeah, there must be something that's true. Like, nah, that's because something is ancient doesn't mean that it's true. You know, a lot of people in the past didn't understand what you understand today. They didn't have the technology that you have today. You see? When they were told that there's some dude that's performing miracles somewhere, they believe that because they don't know a lot about the world that they live in. You know, they don't even know how big the earth is. You know what I mean? Like, but you have technology now. You see people performing fake miracles everywhere. You see that, of course, if miracles really did happen, they will be recorded, obviously. Obviously, because everyone wants miracles, but there's a reason why, and this actually makes me laugh. There's a reason why, if like a real miracle, not a real, because there's never been a real miracle that was actually performed. But if something that seemed like a real miracle is performed, a lot of people who want to believe that miracles are real, they will share the videos. Why? Because deep down, people know that they're not real, but they're like, but this is convincing. Let's share this. You know what I mean? If you don't care about observational truth, it's gonna be very hard for you to wake up. Very, 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 very hard. You must be so intellectually honest that you see things as they really are. And it doesn't matter what the truth is. It doesn't matter it shouldn't matter what you want the truth to be. You must actually want the truth. You shouldn't create your own background stories around the truth because you want the background stories to be true. No, you look at the situation and be like, what makes logical sense? You see, even if you're going to be wrong, even if time proves you wrong, it's fine. You are training your mind to think rationally. The best way to get to the truth is to think as rationally as possible. It's not to tell yourself lies. Some people care more about comfort than they care about the truth. So how are they going to wake up? This reminds me of this movie. I remember I told you about this movie. I haven't watched the actual movie. I've only watched the recap. So this lady was stuck in a dream. She was the only one who didn't know that she was in a dream. In the movie, they created this machine that create dreams for people, and if you are a man, you can find yourself in the dream world as a female. So this lady, she was a man in the real world, in the waking life. She was a man, but in a dream she was a woman, and she was about to. There's this job that she wanted to have. In fact, she wanted a promotion. She already had a job. She wanted a promotion. The day that she was given a promotion, when she went outside, she saw people looking up, and she asked them, "What's going on? Why is everyone looking up?" And they were like, "It's time." She said, What's going on?" And then they started to wake up, and she was confused, like, what's going on? She had a husband in a dream. When she went to talk to her husband, it was a different person with a different accent, and she didn't understand. And he explained to her that, no, it's a dream. Like, you don't really remember that it's a dream. But she ended up not wanting to wake up. She ended up not wanting to wake up from the dream. Why? Because she just got a promotion. You see, she doesn't care about the truth. She just wants to experience what she wants to experience. So of course, she's not going to wake up. But if you truly care about the truth, yes, that's what you want. You want to wake up, right? You want to know what this really is. And you want to do what it actually takes to wake up. You want to take the right actions to wake up. Imagine if whenever you started to dream, you realized that you were in a dream. And you didn't wake up, until maybe your alarm rang, until someone made noise outside, or until your body, has rested enough, and you should wake up. Imagine how interesting your dreams will be. You're in a dream. You realize that you're in a dream. You realize that nothing is real, even though everything feels real, but nothing is real. You just do what you want. If someone tried to insult you, offend you, whatever, you're good. Like, oh shit. So you just say that I'm a piece of shit. Fine, I don't care. Oh, you know what? I kind of do care, but I'm just pretending to care. So why do you call me? Why do you say that I'm a piece of shit? Nah, but you cannot call me a piece of shit, and then it's not real. You don't really care. You know what I mean? It's not real. You know it's not real. You're not living in fear because you know that one day you're gonna wake up. I mean, if the dream lasts for that long, but you're like, I'm gonna wake up, or soon actually, because usually dreams don't last for that long. So like, soon I'm gonna wake up. So it is what it is. I'm not gonna be stuck here forever. This reminds me of a meme that I saw on Facebook. I don't remember when, earlier this year. It showed a dude smiling after waking up from a dream, and they wrote on the caption, when you've screwed up your life completely, but then wake up and realize that it was all a dream. Like, you know what I mean? So can you imagine if you ruin your life in your dream and it's a dream? Like, imagine what you will actually be able to learn. You'll actually be able to learn new skills, actually. You'll be able to experiment, right? You'll even learn how to fight. But like, you know what? I'm fighting with this guy because, well, what's going to happen? You know what I mean? I'm going to wake up. It's not like I'll lose my teeth or something, because fighting is scary, right? You're like, what if I lose my teeth? What if I lose my eye? What if this guy jump me next time? Let's just say I win the fight today, but the next time when we meet, he jump, him and his guys jump me. What if I end up in jail? What if I end up in a hospital? But you're like, it's not real. So let's fight. You take risks. You see your crush, you're like, yeah, well, I've been wanting to talk to this chick for a while now, so yeah, let me take a risk here. Let's see how she's gonna respond. It's not real. She can say whatever. It's not real. Like you just do whatever you want. Imagine how powerful you'll be. Imagine how free you will be, because you realize that it's a dream, right? It's a dream. What if this too was a dream and you don't know that it's a dream? And that is one of the biggest problems. You don't know that this is a dream. What if that was the final truth? Just like any other dream, there is a dream. It just may be longer, or it's not even longer. You just assume it is. Like, who told you that when you wake up, you are the same person that you were? One of the biggest mistakes that we make as humans is that we make a lot of assumptions. Like we've been told, like this world, and you're gonna realize this when you try to think as honestly as possible. Everything that we've been told is a lie. Everything. The things that they wanted us to value, lies. Like school, work, lies. Like it's not, you know what I mean? They made slavery cool. And we feel like that's normal. It's because we're believing the lies that we're being fed. It would be like if you were in a dream, and in that dream they said that a man must go and live in an island alone for 30 days without any weapon, with nothing. And if they come back, that's a man. And you believe that, and you went and suffered in an island. You know what I mean? Because you're buying it. You're like, this is real. But if you know it's a dream, like, fuck that shit. I'm not coming here to go and live in an island. What the fuck will I go and live in an island when I can just have fun here? It's not real, right? So why do I gotta go and live in an island? There's nothing to learn. The dream will just turn into a nightmare. That I'll be facing tigers and whatever. So no. What if this world keeps on changing and you just don't realize that it keeps on changing? The same way that when you're dreaming, you could have a dream where you're in New York, and then sometime later you are in South Africa. You don't realize that something changed. To you, it all looks normal. So what if there are things that keep on changing and you don't even realize that is happening? That is why some people talk about the Mandela effect. I remember I made a video where I was talking about quantum immortality. Say that I've had experiences, bro, like, and this shit is scary, where I got unalived, right? Maybe someone, right, they used a knife, and I would wake up again and I'll be like, that was not my sleeping dream. That happened. Why am I waking up? You cannot tell me that you've even had those kind of experiences where you would wake up, do your thing, and then maybe something bad happened, like something really bad happens, and you wake up. Maybe you don't die, but maybe you lose your leg or something and you wake up. Yeah, oh, it was a dream, but it's kind of real. Oh, you win a lot of money, become a millionaire, and you wake up, you're like, but that was real. Like, am I not supposed to experience what it's like being a millionaire? Why the fuck did I wake up? Like, that was actually real. What if this world keeps on changing? What if nothing is what it seems? And you are telling yourself that things are what they seem, and that's one of the biggest problems, and that's what's preventing you from actually waking up. I was having a conversation with someone about having an out-of-body experience, or like having a near-death experience. It's like, If you think as deeply as possible about these experiences, you'd realize that it's all illusions. You don't have a soul. So you have an out-of-body experience, you see your body. That's not real. Everything is happening within consciousness. So you cannot have a body, you cannot have a soul. So the experience is created from your subconscious mind, where you see yourself having an out-of-body experience while you're not actually having an out-of-body experience. You do not have an actual soul. Because to have an out-of-body experience, that will actually mean that you have a soul, and this is, you are in a physical realm, right? So your soul is inside your body. So when you die, your soul leaves and go to another physical realm. Or maybe if it doesn't go to another physical realm, it goes into what they call the spiritual realm. But how can something that is not physical create something that is physical? If all of us, we're spiritual beings, how did we create something physical? Don't you think that it makes sense to look at the physical world as an illusion? You can have a dream where you're having an out-of-body experience. I've had dreams where I was having an out-of-body experience. It was just a dream. It doesn't mean that I was in a physical body and my soul left my body. No, all of it was just a dream. All of it was illusions. The reason why I'm telling you this is because I don't believe that a person can wake up until they realize that they are actually dreaming. And let me tell you why. Yes, one day you wake up from this dream, but you find yourself maybe having an out-of-body experience and believe that this is real. Now this is real. You have not woken up. You're still dreaming. The same as having a dream within a dream within a dream. You wake up from a dream and then you're like, I've woken up, but you're in another dream. You dream again, you wake up and you're like, what? So this too was a dream? And then you wake up again and you'll be like, what the fuck? I've had dreams where I've woken up like 3 times. I'll be like, nah, that's crazy. You know, you wake up the first time and you're like, ah, shit. I knew that was a dream. I mean, that was too weird. The deeper you go, the weirder your dreams are going to be. So you wake up and you're like, ah, yeah, that was weird. But at least I've woken up. Let me do my thing. And the dream becomes weird again. And you wake up and you're like, what? Okay, fine. Now I've woken up. You know, I would wake up and be like, yeah, life really is a dream. Like, I'm still in a dream, right? But like, life is really a dream. Like, I've just woken up twice, bruh. What the hell? And I'll be like, I can't wait to talk to my people about this, bruh. Because this is interesting. And then I wake up again and I'll be like, what the fuck? And you wake up 3 times. So you always telling yourself that I'm waking up in the real world. What if there is no real world? What if experience can only be an illusion? Like, there can never be an experience that is actually real. And that's what you must realize. Like, that should be, like, that's what's truly gonna help you wake up and actually become powerful. Things happen. Maybe you hear that your friend gossiped about you. That could either be true or not be true. You don't have any evidence. You don't have, there's nothing that you've seen that proves to you that they've gossiped about you. It's just what someone told you. So there's still 50% chance that they've gossiped about you or they've not gossiped about you. It's up to you to decide what is true or not. Like, it cannot be true or be true. Like, on a subconscious level, you decide what is actually true. Because sometimes people suffer because of the stories that they're telling themselves. Like, yeah, my friend did gossip. No, they didn't. They didn't until you have proved that they did. You understand? Until you have proof that something happened, it didn't happen. You'll be shocked to find out that no, what I thought happened didn't happen. Why did I think it happened? Why did I torture myself? And one thing that I've realized about a lot of people who are very intelligent is that they expect the worst from the world. I mean, this is trash. I'm not gonna lie. This shit is a hell rim. Like that's, but I want to give you a simple example. I spoke about membership, right? Channel membership. I said that I created a Discord. I created a Discord server where anyone could join, and a lot of people join. But it was hard to control what was happening. People would be posting corn, insulting one another, for no real reason. You're like, dude, I've created this so that we can help each other grow. Like, let's figure out what this is, in a fun way, yes. But that's the real reason. It's not just like you can join other Discord servers where they are just talking nonsense or whatever. But this is about waking up. This is about realizing what is more true. So I gave up on the Discord server. I was like, I don't know what to do, because a lot of people have joined, and even people who don't have good intentions have joined. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna come up with the plan B. Plan B is that I create channel memberships where those who have joined will get access to the Discord server, the new Discord server, so that it doesn't have many people, and people who will be in the Discord server will be people who actually want to be in the Discord server. Someone will be like, he just wants body, blah. You know what I mean? Like, you expect the worst. So even if people have good intentions, you tell yourself the worst thing about them. You get what I'm saying? So sometimes we suffer because we tell ourselves the worst things about what is happening, even if you find that the real or what your subconscious is creating is not the worst. Maybe some people do have good intentions in your life, but you telling yourself that they have bad intentions, and you kind of like changing the story and maybe making them react in a way that is bad to prove what you've been believing the whole time. Like, that can actually happen because you always expect the worst. I'm not saying this is not a hell room, but let's not think that in any situation the worst possible thing is gonna happen, right? Because you will torture yourself if you believe that, and you end up realizing that no, it wasn't true that the worst possible thing was gonna happen, but I'm the one who made the worst possible thing to happen because of my actions. You see, the worst possible thing wasn't gonna happen in this situation. Maybe the good things could have happened, but because of the story that I've been telling myself. So when you're dealing with reality, it's good to always keep an open mind, right? Don't tell yourself the worst things about what is happening before you know the final truth. I mean, not even the final truth, but then the observational truth, because you have not really observed enough to even make a conclusion about a situation, right? I know people who be torturing themselves because they're always thinking the worst, bro. Always thinking the worst. Always looking at themselves as victims. That person doesn't like me. That person is bro. I'm in a situation that's kind of like that now, right? Where someone is expecting the worst from me. A person that I had good intentions, not a relationship, by the way, it's a family thing. And you're like it. I don't even know how to explain it. It's like, because of how things work in the world, you always expecting the worst. Like, even if people are actually good, they'll be like, I need to distance myself. I cannot be. And then now it seems like, yeah, I didn't have good intentions all along. But you find that I actually did have good intentions. But they're expecting, and what they're doing is making their experience more hellish. So you keep an open mind. Like, okay, I don't know what the surprise is going to be here, but let's see. Let's be sure first. It's good to protect yourself. It's good to try to be as calculated as possible. Also know how the world works. Also know how, based on how things used to be, like, you can make predictions. Like, okay, this is what might happen, but don't take action until you are sure, because sometimes good things do happen. And we ruin our experiences by acting as if bad things are happening, even if these things weren't actually bad. This reminds me of this experiment. What did they call it? Okay, the double slits. I don't want to talk about the double slit experiment, but yeah, I think double split experiment. They call it the double split experiment. What did they even call it? Double slit experiment. Yeah, double slit experiment. In quantum physics, it's believed that until you observe something, it's just gonna be possibilities until you observe it. Like if you put a cat inside a basket where it cannot breathe, maybe you leave it there for like a day. When you open the basket, it's possible that the cat is alive and not alive. Like before you open the basket, the cat is alive and not alive at the same time. It's not like it died and then it's dead and then you open and it was dead. Like no, it's alive and not alive and not alive at the same time. Maybe it depends on who opens the basket. Maybe you on a subconscious level, that's the story that has already been created, I guess, right? But maybe if another person opened the basket, then it's going to be a different story. Like the problem is that we think this is solid. We don't want to look at this as a dream. And I've been telling you that all the evidence actually tells us that we're dreaming. It's just that for some reason we want to believe that this is real, and this is the same mistake that we make when we're dreaming, right? It's like, it's real. It's not a dream. And then you wake up and you're like, oh shit. So to wake up, treat this the same way that you treat your dreams. But realize, and this is also very important, realize that this dream, even if maybe some things keep on changing, but there are parts of the dream that are continuous. So there can be consequences for your actions, right? There can be consequences for your actions. So realize that. Try to keep an open mind about things. Don't always tell yourself the worst stories. This reminds me of a scene from what's this cartoon? I almost watched them, but funny. I think they're called Dark Bunny or something like that. So Dark is very, very funny. He approached this girl that he wanted, and he asked her to go out with him. Before she could even respond, he was like, well, a man has tried. You can't blame a man for trying. And he wanted to leave. Like, you expect the worst. But she was like, no. Like, and he was surprised. And when they went out on a date, he started to brag about his life, about how great his life is. But she was very smart, and she realized that he was lying. So she told him about himself. Like, okay, this is what I'm picking up about you. And he was like, well. And they wanted to leave. And she was like, no, wait. But yeah, sometimes we can be like that. Sometimes you can do things while expecting the worst things to happen, and because you're expecting the worst things to happen, you create these things, right? Let's say you're trying to accomplish something, but you don't believe that you'll accomplish it. Do you really think that you're going to give it the level of energy, the level of commitment that you will give it if you felt like you're going to? You know what I mean? So you might end up failing because of what you believe, not because you would actually fail. You end up failing because you're always expecting the worst. I've been telling you that the hell realm really is in the mind, you know. Yes, my observational truths are true. You know, you can see that it's a hell realm. It's a hell realm. Like you can see those people are coming from work tired. You can see that. And it's not the kind of world that we would have wanted. It's not the ideal world. You can see that there's so many challenges that we go through as humans, right? So that makes it a hell realm. So it is true that it's a hell realm, but what is not true is that you do not have some power, some level of power. Yes, the hell realm becomes more hellish as you get older because of what is already true, or because of the observational truth that are already true, right? So yeah, as you got older, it becomes more hellish, but there are things that can go well for you even though you are in a hell room, and you mustn't always be expecting the worst. If you treat this the same way that you treat your dreams, especially after waking up, because when you're still dreaming, you don't really think you're dreaming, except those who can lucid dream. Things will happen. They will not affect you that much until you have a full story and you won't be confused about these things. Let me give you another example. What's the name of this movie? So this guy suspected that his wife was cheating. He went home and she's busy making noises, sexual noises. Like, it's not sexual noises, actually. She just was making noise. It turns out she was doing something while making those noises. It was not even sexual noises. He leaves without ever talking to her. He just leaves. He already made up a conclusion in his mind. And he doesn't have proof that already that is what has been manifested, right? So the observational truth wasn't truth, but he will make it true because of his own actions. He left. From her perspective, he left because, well, he doesn't want her anymore, so she can move on with another guy. And if he ever realizes that, oh shit, I was wrong, and try to apologize, be like, all right, she's not even going to believe him. We're torturing ourselves a lot because we feel as if this is real. It's not. There's no background story, really. Nothing is actually happening. Some people might say, okay, why do I suffer? You think this is real? I mean, yes, you can be miserable even if you are having an experience that's not real and you know it's not real, but you wouldn't be as miserable as you will be if you're having an experience that is not real and you know it's not real, right? Like if you're playing a video game, people are getting unalived in that video game. If you're not winning in that video game, things are not going in your favor, yeah, you'll be, maybe you'll be frustrated, but it won't be the same as if you felt like you were not in a video game. You felt like everything that is happening is actually real. Because now you feel totally trapped. Like, this is it. No, this is not it. You forget your dreams, maybe 99% of your dreams. Why do you think you forget your dreams? You think that when you wake up from this dream, you'll remember everything. The same way that you wake up from your dream is the same way that you're waking up from this illusion. But the mistake that you're probably going to make is to think that you've woken up in the real world. One of my favorite movies is Inception. I like that movie, and I think they had the best ending, because they still wanted the viewer to doubt if the main character was still woken up, or if he was still in a dream. He thought he was woken up, but they still wanted the viewer to doubt. So he spent the totem, and the movie ended while the totem was spinning. If you haven't watched the movie Inception, the only way that they'll be able to realize if they're dreaming is if they spin a totem and it doesn't stop spinning. So when the movie ended, they spin the totem and we didn't see it stop spinning. The movie ended. I thought that was beautiful. It makes you question if you are not still dreaming. I told you my favorite TV series of all time is Atlanta. What's so beautiful about Atlanta, and unlike what makes me love it more than I love Inception, is because when you are watching it from the first season, you do not think that it's a dream. You don't, like, no one suspected that the whole show could be a dream, right? Like, that was like Childish Gambino, bruh. The first season, I loved it, and it's so brilliant, bruh. It's so brilliant, and weird things will happen, but you will be like, yeah, you know, it's just a series, so maybe weird things will happen. Then on the final episode, called It Was All a Dream, that's when they reveal to us that no, there's a character who will dream. Like, he will use sensory deprivation tank, you know, he will dream and he will not know the difference between what's real and what is not. Sometimes he'll wake up and think that he's woken up, and then wake up again and think he's woken up, to a point that he actually screams. The only way you would figure out whether he was dreaming or not, it's like through the show Judge Judy. If Judge Judy has a thick ass, it will mean that he's actually dreaming. If she doesn't have a thick ass, it will mean that he's not dreaming. The show ended while he was watching Judge Judy. They didn't show us a ass, they only showed his face and his smile. And you don't know if he's smiling because he realized that he was in a dream because he has done some shit that will get him in jail. So you don't know if he's smiling because he thinks he's in a dream, or he's smiling because he's not in a dream. He's finally woken up and he's like, oh, brilliant. But we want to take this so damn seriously. It's real. There is no background story. I've done a lot of work, guys. I'm telling you, there's no background story. Things actually do. The past actually does change. You think there's background story. There is not background story. You just have to look at it as a dream and not take things very seriously, right? Focus more on you and thinking in a way that makes you feel good. You know, focusing on what you feel that you like, the things that you like. You know, don't tell yourself lies. Because even though this shit is not real, if I stood in the street and said that car won't hit me, like, no. The car is gonna hit me if I'm, you know what I mean? The observational truth in that situation is that if people stand in the street while there's a car coming, it hits them. So if I tell myself lies, I'm gonna get hit. But the highest truth is that it's all a dream. I will wake up one day. So yes, don't ignore the observational truth. What you must do is focus more on the observational truth that you like. Look at your own life. Like, okay, I live with my parents. I don't have any money. But you know what? I have this friend. This friend has been loyal the whole time. Good. That's a positive thing. Oh man, there's YouTube. Sometimes there's, you know, I find these great channels and I connect with people. That's a beautiful thing. Oh, there's this new TV show. I'm loving it. I'm focusing on it. Oh, you know, there's a park where I can go and chill. Yeah, I love that. Like, you focus more on what you love. And it even needs to get to a point where you only focus on what you love. Like, if you can train your mind to only focus on what you love, I do actually believe that you would feel much better. Because there's no point in feeling miserable all the time, even though this is a hell room, right? It wears you down and you become weak because of that. So the more you focus on what you actually like, now I'm not saying you must tell yourself lies, because I think this is the mistake that a lot of people be making, like Christians, for example. They be believing in the gods that are not real. Like, the observational truth telling us that these gods that they believe in are not real, but they're believing in these gods. Like, yeah, they feel good, but that they're still going to suffer because what's already been manifested is the opposite of what they believe. You don't actually manifest, like your ego does not manifest reality. That's something that I've realized. Like, reality is created on a subconscious level. So, people be talking about affirmations and all that shit. Like, if that shit was true, don't you think Christians will be like the most successful people? When they're praying, they don't pray for bad things to happen in their lives, right? They pray for good things to happen. They worship God. They believe this is not a hell realm. They be telling themselves that. Reality is created on a subconscious level. Your ego doesn't create reality. The power that your ego has is to focus more on what it likes, so that, because you're working with your subconscious, right? Your ego is working with your subconscious, so that you don't actually make your ego to create nightmares for you. So just like I gave you this simple example about the guy in this movie where he thought his wife was cheating because he had them making noises. He didn't care about the truth. He just left. He made the conclusion in his head. Now he's lost. Maybe that woman was a good woman. He lost a good woman. Now things become worse for him because of this. You know what I mean? Because he already concluded that what was happening was something negative, even though it wasn't. You see? So he made things worse for himself because he felt like what was happening was something negative. The other example that I gave you, you think your friend is gossiping about you. Now you start to treat them like shit because you think they're gossiping about you. You don't have proof. You find that they never gossip about you. Now you ruin your relationship. Maybe you start disconnecting with them because of what you think they did, but you still don't have proof. So now your relationship ended because of what you believed was you believed to be the observational truth, while it wasn't even true. So you keep an open mind, you focus more on what you love. And don't take this realm very seriously. Because things can happen just for you to get a reaction out of you. Like, even, sometimes you can find yourself, even this situation that I'm telling you about, this observational truth that I'm telling you about. This is something very important to realize, because I know that you have experienced this in your own life, right? Something happened to make you think the worst. Something happens to make you think the worst, and you conclude that the worst has happened, and then you ruin things for yourself. The same way that that guy, it's like, why would something like that happen? It happens so that you will react. You will think that the worst has happened. Like, it's happening so that he will react. So you react. Like, sometimes I think things happen to test you as a person. How willing are you to make things happen in your favor? Are you this person who always wants to be a victim in a situation? Because in that situation, the guy could have opened the door, because there were still other possibilities. It doesn't mean that that was like the final truth. He could have opened the door and found out, oh no, she's not sleeping with anyone here. But he chose to be a victim. People choose to be a victim in situations. I've seen people choose to be a victim, bruh. You find that things are not the way that they think they are, but they're choosing the worst possibility. I've been in relationship with some of these kind of people. Like, someone will think the worst shit without proof, while they could also think the best shit. Like, you get what I'm saying? They could listen to what you're saying, but they choose not to. They choose to create their own story in their heads, and then they believe the worst possible shit. So sometimes people become victims because of always thinking the worst. And maybe there's a part of them that likes that. So maybe our subconscious tests us. This is one of the most important videos that you watch, guys. Like, what I'm telling you is true. So maybe our subconscious tests us just to see what kind of experiences we actually want. So it puts you in a situation where a cat is dead or alive. Before you open the basket, you conclude that the cat is dead. And then now the experiences that you are having are going to be negative, because now you've already told your subconscious that that's what you want. Because you can't tell yourself that it's alive. Why think the worst if it's possible that the best is is the truth. Why think the worst if it's possible that the best is the truth? I got the strangest feeling. This isn't our first time around. Do you think that you can actually wake up fully and what you'll be experiencing will be the real reality? Or you're gonna be dreaming forever? You're not gonna be dreaming one dream, different dreams. If there is no such thing as matter, if matter is an illusion, if everything is happening within consciousness, so where are you going to wake up if everything is happening within consciousness? You might say, no. Actually, you might say that actually when you finally wake up, right, when you finally wake up, you won't be dreaming anymore. You will just feel that you are alive. You just realize that you're God, but you're not going to be dreaming anymore. But I say, nah, you will still be dreaming. Waking up is actually figuring out that it's all a dream, all of it. There is no experience that you can have that is not a dream. All of it is a dream. And there are no other minds. There's only one mind. There couldn't be other minds because reality is happening in the mind. So how do other minds find themselves in your hallucination? So if someone is hallucination, you cannot hallucinate what they're hallucinating, right? They are, you know what I mean? What's happening in their mind is happening in their mind. You can't experience what is happening in their mind. Isn't that what is true? So how can there be other minds if reality is happening in your mind? This has been the argument I've had against non-duality. But like people like Robert Spira, like he's an intelligent guy and he spit a lot of facts. But he's truly against solipsism. But like, nah, bruh. Why? It almost seems as if he doesn't want solipsism to be true. Like his argument against solipsism, like you could see that he's rational all the time, but then when it comes to solipsism, he's not. He just says solipsism is stupid. I'm like, you've never said anything was stupid. But there's a reason why this world seems real and everything wants you to believe that this world is real. It's not. And realizing that is actually going to set you free. Realizing that you are eternal. Like this is also temporary, just like your sleeping dreams. Yes, it seems longer because there are some observational truth that you carry with you every time when you wake up. I do believe that even in this dream, things do change because I've seen enough signs that things actually do change. History does change. I've also had Mandela effect. I've also experienced the Mandela effect myself in some situations where I'm like, nah, man, something has changed. But there's some truth that you take with you. But even when you're dreaming, there's some observational truth that you take with you in your dreams, right? Your friend's name, find out that person's name is still their name, right? Their height. If they're short, they're short. If they're tall, they're tall, right? Where you live. If you live in New York, you'll still live in New York in your dreams. Yes, there will be some dreams where that won't be true. There will be some dreams where you live in Africa, but you find that there are some truths that you took with you. You could dream that you're a chicken, but you find that there's some truth that you took with you. The sun goes up in the morning. You find that is true. That's what you carried with you. So I don't feel that when you wake up, you are like the same person you were. Like we keep on changing, we keep on growing. How do you even grow? But there's some truth that you take with you. Maybe these truths change over time. So I think that wherever you're going to wake up, there will be some observational truth that you are taking with you. That is why some people, when they have near-death experiences, they still meet some people that they've known here. Why do you think those people still have the same faces? Isn't it weird? It's because they are created from your subconscious. It's all a dream, all of it. There is no such thing as real reality. And you must always keep that in mind no matter what you're going through. Know that this dream will end. Yes, it sucks that you don't have power. But you do have some power. But I mean, power to truly end the dream. I'm not sure if you do have that power. It seems as if you're eternal and you're going to keep on dreaming. So it's best that you realize that you're dreaming. I think the dream experience will actually be better because you're not going to torture yourself when things happening. You're not going to judge yourself a lot, Like, this is happening because I'm weak. I'm not as strong as other people. I'm ugly. I'm fat. I'm this. None of that is true. None of that is like that. Like, it's you. It's only you. The experiences that are happening to get a reaction out of you. So it's up to you how you react. In fact, focus more on how you react. I'm glad that this came up. Like, this is important. Focus on how you react to things. That is very important. A lot of people don't realize how important that is. Your reaction to things. Like, you react in a way that will make you proud, no matter what you go through. Because you can ruin things completely because of how you react. Something happens, you don't like it, and you react horribly. But I've been in so many situations where something that I didn't like happened, and I'll be like, okay, I don't like this, and I'll be scared. But I'll be like, let me not react at all. Let me see what more is going to happen. I'm not going to react in this situation at all. Or I'm going to react, but I'm going to be strong. I'm going to figure out what is the best way to react in this situation. You find that I don't mess things up. Even with people, like in relationships, I'll be in a situation where something that I don't like has happened. I'll be like, okay, what's the best way to react? If I react well, I'm not talking about, being a coward, not holding people accountable, but I mean, you can react very horribly in a situation that every single human is going to see that you are an idiot for reacting the way that you reacted, and you make things worse for yourself. But if you react in a way that's brilliant, you find that things still go well for you. Maybe the same person that has fucked things up for you, they come back and apologize and make things better, make things up to you. But if you react very negatively, they don't. So teach yourself to react as well as you can when something happens in your life, especially some things that you don't like. Because this is not real. Nothing should actually make you angry. Nothing should actually make you feel sad. Maybe the only thing that should make you sad is that maybe you're conscious forever. But that's it. Like, the things that be happening, they're not real. That's what you must realize. Life is constantly proven that it's not real. It's just that there are some things that we do not want to believe, or that we do not want to be true. Like, your ego is against that being the truth. Your ego, I wouldn't say it wants this to be real, but it is so invested in this reality that it feels that it's real. That's why I'm even calling it reality. Your ego is so invested in this being real that it really does feel like it's real. But is it real? You did have a choice. Or maybe you didn't, but now you do. To believe whether this is real or not. Maybe in the beginning you were supposed to think that this is real because you weren't as conscious as you are. So you had to believe that your experiences are real, but now you are very conscious. Now you are aware of what is actually possible. Thank you all, guys.